What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the NBA Pick and Pod. My name's Dawson Shine, and I'm your host who hasn't shown up for like a month and a half. And it's been pretty ridiculous, to be honest. I've been obviously very busy with school, starting college, and I also tried to put out a video in between saying that I'll definitely be getting back into it now that the NBA season is starting. And guess what starts on Tuesday? NBA season is kicking off. We got great games coming up, and I can't wait for this whole season to unfold with all the Kevin Durant drama, Cleveland Cavaliers re-signing J.R. Smith, everything going down. But I do have some stuff to recap, since obviously I haven't been here for a month and a half, and some things went down even just this week. Starting off, talk about the WNBA Championship, which actually happened last night. Los Angeles Sparks won the championship against the Minnesota Lynx 77-76, 1-point game. It's their third championship in WNBA history and first since 2002, and this game was close. Maya Moore, who was the star for the Minnesota Lynx, had 23 points, 11 assists, and she hit a basket that put them up 76-75 with just 13 seconds to go. But the Sparks came back down the floor, hitting a fadeaway shot from the baseline about 3 feet out, Candace Parker, with only 3 seconds remaining, and ending with a half-court heave that did not go in for the Lynx. So, Candace Parker of the Sparks closed out this series, got her first championship in her 8th year on the Sparks, and brought another championship home for the Los Angeles City, which, as we know, is already spoiled enough with championships. Now the Staples Center banner count, 16 Lakers, 3 Sparks, 2 Kings, and a Swift banner. Taylor Swift, that is. Of course, no Clippers banners up. Where are you guys at? So they have a new CP3 in Los Angeles, Candace Parker, her number being 3. But this game and this series was not without controversy, that's for sure. The Sparks actually made a shot after the shot clock went off in the 4th quarter of this game, and should have been waved off, but the refs did not review it in time, so the play and the points stood. But since they only won by 1 point, if you remove those 2 points from this game, the Lynx actually deserved to win and win the championship. That's pretty crazy. The reason why the referees said that they didn't have the ability to actually remove the points was because they didn't review the play immediately following when it happened. They waited a couple plays later, and by that point, it's too late to review it and change the result. That's pretty ridiculous, to be honest, because if that happened in an NBA championship Game 7, there would be outrage. Yet, no one in the media is even talking about the way that the Lynx just lost this game. It's 2 free points. But there was some issues in Game 4 with the Lynx actually being gifted a victory because they stepped out of bounds in Game 4 late in the game, and it should have been a violation with the Sparks getting the ball back with a chance to win it. But instead, the Lynx kept the ball and won the game out. Of course, there's always controversy in sporting events, but you want to try and limit it as much as possible, and that certainly didn't happen in this game. But it was a great showing for women's sports overall, because this game was incredible for any basketball fan to watch. Great offenses. They've been developing isolation plays, not just running team offenses, and it's showing the WNBA in a much better light as an actual sport that's competitive and fun to watch. Though they don't dunk it that often, they did have a great game with clutch moments and a lot of intensity in the arena. If you watch any clips of this game, you'll hear how hyped up the fans got during this game. Absolutely fantastic to see, because you always want to see this league grow, especially and get women more encouraged into going into sports. So shout out to the Los Angeles Sparks for a great season, a great championship, and for the Lynx, who actually competed very well. And honestly, it's a great fix in between NBA seasons because there's nothing else to do except talk about off-season trades and preseason games. But there are some preseason games and some really important rumors going on that I want to talk about too today. So we're going to move on from the WNBA now. I want to talk about Jrue Holiday's wife. Shout out to her. Hopefully she's recovering. She actually had brain surgery on a benign tumor today. Jrue Holiday will be missing quite a few games, if not most of the first couple months of the NBA season, to take care of his wife, Lauren Holiday. She had a benign tumor they discovered. They had to go into surgery. It was successful, thank gosh. And she's recovering fully right now. But obviously, ball isn't always life. Sometimes there's more to life than ball. And he needs to take care of his wife first to make sure Lauren's alright before he comes back onto the court, which is very understandable and good for him to do. So hopefully all goes well in her recovery, and we got some other great news going on. The NBA and the NBA PA, the Players Association, have been working together for the past 2 weeks or so on a new CBA, collective bargaining agreement, which is basically their work contract between the players and the league, the owners and all them. So this collective bargaining agreement was predicted to cause a lockout next year if the NBAPA opted out of the agreement due to their various concessions not being met. But, in fact, they're actually saying that this CBA might actually get agreed upon and amended in the following weeks and prevent any stoppage in play for next season, which is fantastic for any NBA fan because this league continues to grow, so you don't want to stop the product from growing. Now I'm going to give a quick rundown of what they actually wanted to agree to. First of all, they wanted to continue and maintain the same split of basketball-related income, which is currently at 49 to 51% split between the players and the league, respectively, which is a great factor for optimism in this agreement because that was what was supposed to cause the big disagreement next season. If the league wanted to shift that to make it actually less percentage for the players, or players wanting to keep it that way, and it looks like they're going to be able to keep it that way. Also, once that fight over the money was out of the way, the two sides actually went on to focus on a couple of different issues that will be part of this potential agreement. They want to rework extension rules for contracts, so extending a player. Also, changes to the NBA D-League, which I want to get into in 1 second, and raising rookie contract numbers and salary cap exceptions. That's pretty great for any team because a salary cap is a tough thing to deal with, especially because it's not a hard salary cap, but you never want to get too high in the luxury tax or the repeater luxury tax. But the NBA D-League is the real topic I want to focus on. They're actually hoping to get 30 teams in the D-League, expanded all the way to 30 teams, which will give every single NBA franchise an affiliate. That way, instead of having to worry about putting a player in the D-League and then having another team come and snatch them up, basically, if they're on a regular D-League contract, they'll actually be on a two-way contract with an NBA team so they can be both on the D-League or on the NBA team. That way players can be called up if they're needed during a certain week or certain games, given opportunities to play in the NBA, or basically relegated back to the D-League for more development while there's no roster spots on their current team. It's a fantastic way to work around this, and it's done a lot in both baseball and hockey. So it'll be great to see that change in the NBA. And on top of that, it'll help give more money to D-League players so that instead of maybe having college players go and spend a year not making any money, making all this money for the NCAA, which is of course a competitor to the NBA if you think about it, and not really develop properly their skills or get a degree, what better way to change that than to allow them to go to the D-League instead, get a real contract with NBA teams, and work their way up in the organization, getting opportunities every so often as needed, and continue their development in the D-League. It's a fantastic thing, and I'm hoping that that's going to be something that could lead to more rookies and other young players developing instead of being forced onto the court either too early or flashing a little bit, being given an opportunity, failing, and then being forced to get cut because there's just no other way around it. They need the roster spot. If you're looking at any teams that are dealing with that right now, you can look at the Celtics, for example. They've got both James Young, who is only 20 years old, 19 and a half at this point, and RJ Hunter, who's another young player, 21, who are both fighting for the last roster spot on the team, but one of them needs to get cut, even though on a team like, say, the Nets, both of them would both be able to make the roster. So you're looking at something like a really young player getting cut off the team and picked up by someone else, and you lose that asset only because you have no other way to develop them in the meantime while your roster's full. It'd be a great way to mitigate that and just help teams have more pool to draw from rather than just constantly the same players. You'll actually have a way to develop players, see which prospects look really good, and I think it's going to be a great thing for the NBA and the D-League, of course. So overall, this new CBA is looking fantastic. We're not going to have, hopefully, a shortened season, 2017, and basketball will continue on with some better changes for it. So what's there to complain about? And, of course, Tuesday night, Knicks versus Cavaliers is the first game of the NBA season. I cannot wait. Derrick Rose got cleared from his charges 2 days ago, so now he will definitely be playing for the Knicks. There's no more distractions off the court. And Cavaliers, of course, just signed J.R. Smith finally to a contract, so their whole roster is ready to go as well. It'll be a fantastic matchup just because it's the first game of the season. Hopefully, it's close down to the wire, so I don't have to worry about a blowout. day one. I'll be coming at you guys with more videos now since the NBA season's starting. I promise I'll be doing at least 2 or 3 a week. But of course, if something big comes up, I'll definitely make a video to let you guys know about it, sum it all up for everyone. So thanks for listening. Sorry for such a huge delay in between videos, but I appreciate the patience. And this is the NBA Pick'em Pod, signing off.